From London, England, where the Queen lives.
Recorded live from an underground bunker and packaged into an MP3 with a pretty little picture. Helping to kickstart your day with the motivation and inspiration you need 365 days a year. This is the Learn, Develop, Live podcast. And this is your host, Chris Jaggs.
Good morning! Welcome to the Learn, Develop, Live podcast. I'm your host, Chris Jaggs from LearnDevelopLive.com. Welcome back to our Good Friday Monday, or whatever day it is that you're actually listening to this on. So how is your January going so far? Are you all out there refreshed? Are you smashing each day, or are you feeling a little bit drained from the madness of December and the good old holiday season? Now, while we do go from one day to the next, often without even thinking about it, that little journey from the end of December into January can leave you feeling a little bit meh. It was actually probably that last week of the year, in between Christmas and New Year, where no one's really sure what day it actually is, especially if you had a few too many boozy drinks. Many people talk about new resolutions that they want to go out and take on in the brand new year, but maybe one that I've even felt myself, just feeling a little bit burnt out. Before we dive in, let's have those messages and we can get going.
If you're out running, sitting on the bus in traffic, or have a smelly armpit in your face on that crowded train, the Learn, Develop, Live podcast is here to help you through your day.
You can subscribe to this podcast on iTunes, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify. Subscribe and never miss an episode.
Welcome back. So let's get ourselves right into this. Now, if like me, you've been suffering yourself from a little bit of burnout, I can tell you it's not uncommon at all. Let's take the whole festive period here. Now, you have such a big build up to Christmas, or whichever holiday you celebrate yourself, then it arrives, and the day itself just disappears, and you sit there thinking, well, that's Christmas done for another year, isn't it? And I know it's not just me that has this thought. Back when I worked in retail, working in a toy shop in one of the busiest shopping centres in the UK, and by the way, this is not fun, as many people think that, oh, working in a toy shop must be a lot of fun. It really isn't. I promise you that. Christmas would start there in September, when the bigger deliveries started to come in and your stockroom has no space at all to move anything around it. Now there is a gradual build up and then it explodes. People everywhere trying to grab the most popular toys, despite them being available for many months before. But hey, that's another story. The real duration of Christmas, especially in a toy shop, is around 4 months, and it doesn't stop until the kiddies go back to school in early January. But then, it all changes. 1 week, you struggle to get from the back of the shop to the front. A week later, you could easily skip hand in hand all the way. Yes, Christmas is over, and yes, staff often, 1 day off, but they're burnt out, physically, mentally, and probably emotionally too. Now, I remember coming home one Christmas Eve, and I sat down in the chair, still with my coat on, probably for about 20 minutes until I could actually realise that my body was seizing up from the lack of movement compared to the rest of the day. Mentally, I've actually felt a bit burnt out this year myself. The constant need to do so much is always there, and I've disconnected from social media just to start off with for the whole of December and a little bit of January. And I can honestly say I haven't really missed it if I'm honest, but I'm back in it now. I didn't miss it, and I wasn't checking constantly about what someone has had for lunch with Rate My Food or something. Whatever your burnout is, an imbalance at work or home life, encountering some difficult barriers or roadblocks, we all struggle, but of course, there is good news for us all, isn't there? The good news is that you have the power to make healthy choices to regain balance. We can do all the things we need to do, but instead, take control of the chaos we may face each day to reduce the stress and prevent further burnout. I'm going to give you 5 steps which, after a lot of research the last few weeks, should hopefully put everything into perspective if you are suffering from a little bit of burnout. So we start with step 1. Press that pause button. Now before you dive right into the new year, why not just take a step back? The beginning of the year isn't secret code for go full on and run into the year ahead. Instead, why not think about slowing down first? If you've gone through the whole burnout experience once before, You don't want to be going back there again anytime soon, do you? Not enough people give themselves some me time because they feel it might come across as selfish, but it's actually necessary and a break in our day, which a lot of people feel guilty over. Terms like self-care and me time may feel selfish and cliche, but they actually do describe a necessary and often neglected break in our day. You just need to spend some time focusing on yourself, whether it be a few minutes or a couple of hours, or just shut off and focus on yourself. Go for a run, a long bath, have an early night, read a book, or just settle with your favourite TV show, switch the phone off, and that will help you shut away yourself from the world and the demands of everyday life. Step 2. Recognise the signs. The term burnout means that when you reach the point of your daily stresses of life, work, family, relationships amongst other things, just because they're just a little bit too much for you. This affects both you mentally, physically, and very likely emotionally too. Looking back to try and see where you've experienced burnout can only help you recognise the potential trigger points, and maybe where you even suffer from insomnia, maybe anxiety or fatigue. There is strong evidence to even suggest that around 90% of people suffering from burnout also hit depression too. Have a look back at the last year and have a look at what went well, but also what went wrong. Learning the trigger from your burnout will also help you stay in focus for whatever that you're looking to do this year and keep you right in the game. Step 3. Add some structure to your world. For some, having everything planned out takes the fun out of life, but for others, knowing exactly what you're meant to be doing day to day can have a huge advantage for you. Planning and knowing exactly what's coming up this week, next month, 6 months' time will not only help you get ready for whatever event is coming, but also help you avoid any unnecessary stress. Step 4. What makes you happy? We know about hitting that pause button, but to work alongside that is know exactly what makes you happy as well. Meeting up with friends, going for long walks, maybe early morning workout, time with family, whatever it is that ticks your box. Make some time for it on a regular basis. People spend so much time doing things they don't like doing, so why not break that chain and do things that you actually like and will put a smile on your face. Life is to be enjoyed, remember? Step 5. Remember to be honest with that new resolution. Now, we looked at resolutions previously, and they have to actually mean something for you to actually want to do them for a start. If something isn't working for you or bringing happiness to your life, instead of suffering, maybe it's time to look at what you need to do to get rid of the issues and bring a smile back to your face. For what you want to change, the motivation to make that happen must come from yourself. Not out of envy or pressure from others, but you. Just because someone else is doing it doesn't mean that you should do too. If someone was going to jump off a cliff, would you do that as well? Finally, step 6. Pause and reflect every so often. Now, as the year progresses, it would really help you to press that pause button again every so often and revisit those resolutions. Think about why you chose them in the first place. Is that reason even valid anymore, and have you actually achieved it already? Maybe it needs changing slightly. Reflect on how you can make your resolution happen, whether you want to read more, save more money, move up in work with that big promotion. Contemplate how this will fulfill you and your life and make you happy. Maybe building your savings helps you achieve a larger goal, or maybe paying off a student loan. Reading more allows you to challenge your critical thinking skills. Whatever it is, putting your aspirations in perspective will remind you why you started this journey and will help you keep you motivated. Remember, you are never alone when you're chasing these ambitions. Ask for help if you need it. Maybe someone else is also chasing the same goal, and you can actually become each other's accountability buddies. Use whatever methods and techniques you can to help make your year a happier and simpler and better one than previously. For those who doubt themselves, failure, or feedback as I like to call it, is a great thing. Things not going well is showing that you're actually trying, and if you're trying, you're making more progress than the people still sitting in their chair watching TV all day. Even if you break your resolution once, twice, 30, 40, 50 times this year, take a breather, then try again. You're less likely to make another effort if you beat yourself up for messing up. You are your greatest inspiration, and only you can make these things happen for yourself. Swap the negative vibes for the positive and make this year your best ever. Now, there is so much more to this subject, and this is just the start. There is plenty to read online that will also help inspire you. Now, that is us finished for the week. If you'd like to talk some more about this, my calendar is always open. www.ldlcall.com. Book that free 30-minute call completely dedicated to you. 30 minutes, all yours. Now, take care of yourselves out there, and I'll see you in the next one.
Hello?
Hello?
Hello there, folks. We're mighty glad to have you with us.
Learn, develop, live the perfect start to the day.
Unless it's in the afternoon or it's in the evening. You know what I mean.
Goodbye.
What? It's over already?
All over.
Thank you for listening to the Learn, Develop, Live podcast. I hope you feel as warm, motivated, and fuzzy inside as I do. You can connect with Chris at learndeveloplive.com or on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter.
I won't say goodbye. I'll just say until we meet again.
Until next time, join the motivation.